Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those that are new to this channel, I am so delighted to have you here today. If you don't know me, my name is Dahun, and today I'm so excited for what we have in store for you. So on today's interview, I have a very amazing person. She's an event planner, a decorator, should I say fashion designer? She's a singer, songwriter, jack of all trades, but master of all, right? And I'm so excited to have her on here today because she does a lot of amazing things. She also has a 9-to-5, but is able to juggle all these things. And I'll say one of the things that amazes me the most about her is that she recently got married, and guess what? She not only planned her wedding, she also decorated her wedding. Like how? Most weddings or prior to the wedding, brides are tired, right? They want to rest in preparation for the big day. But this girl was up, right? Up decorating her wedding hall. How? But without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome the amazing Josephine, who is the founder of the event management company Sephi. Josephine.
Hi,
wow.
Miss Dahun.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, but I'm excited to be here,
Yes.
unfiltered with Dahun. It's great, and I appreciate the accolades list. We thank God. To God be all the glory. TGBG. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And I really want to encourage everyone watching this video to please stick around to the very end, because I'm very, very sure that you're going to be very inspired by watching this video. And secondly, we're not going to just bring you on without giving you something. So our amazing Josephine actually does have a promotion for our viewers today. So please stick around if you want to know what is in store for you all. So let's dive right into it. So Josephine, your event management company is called Sephi. One question that's always been on my mind is what inspired that name Sephi?
Yeah, so thank you for that. So my name is Josephine, Josephine Omotola Adeshida. That's the new last name. So while I was in school, I did a lot of things, like she just mentioned.
And school, is that college?
Yes,
or,
thank you. So college, University of
Okay.
Illinois at Chicago. That's where I did my bachelor's. And I happened to sing at that time, and a friend of mine wanted me to feature on one of his tracks. I will leave you guys to find that track on YouTube. I'm not gonna say the name of the song, but like I needed a stage name, and everyone was saying JoJo, and I'm like, yeah, JoJo is like regular, it's out of whack, it's just it's plain, and I don't give JoJo, right? So I have a friend. His name is Charlie Royale is what we call him. Shout out to you, Charles. And that day we just took my name and we dissected it, and we said, what can we put out of here? It was like Sapphire, Sophine, Sephinotu, and then Sephi. And I'm like,
Josephine Sephi.
yeah.
Okay.
So just with an extra I. So the SEPHI, then we just put an extra I in there. And I'm like, that is cute, that's different. So that became the stage name for the song. So I noticed that anytime I would cook, so I also love to cook, but I don't like to cook regular food, but I like to create. So back in school, I would just bring all the leftovers, Indomie, ketchup, mayo, shrimp, you name it, and just like put something together and then give it to my friends, and they'll be like, Sephiisconcept, you've done it again. So Sephiisconcept became a thing. Anytime I would do something creative, which is usually like my modus operandi, like it's always like, how can we make this look different? How can we make this outfit be more intentional? How can we make this event to you? So I would always do things that came from a creative space, from true creation. And it would be Sephiisconcept. And then a friend of mine, Sultan Marshall, he said, you should really go into this business. In Nigeria, they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Okay, and I had experience as the event coordinator on our African Student Council at University at UIC, and that's how it was birthed. That same day, I called up a friend, Difna. I called up another friend. They got me free logos. I posted, and that was May of 2016. So We're gonna be 10 years next year.
Wow. So it basically started from college, right?
Yes.
And so you were
my last year of college.
I see. So you were planning events for the African.
I was planning events for the African Student Council since my sophomore year, so for about 2-3 years there.
And I'm just curious, I guess, just to give some people the idea, like, what was the scale of those events? Was it like a fashion show, or what types of events were?
Yeah, good question. So as far as like ASC is related, we had fashion shows, we had plays, we did a very amazing production. Shout out to Damio Julari, our director, and then African Student Council president, called Fela Kuti. I can't remember what the subtitle was, and I was in charge of like creating the dance routine. I also had a dance team in college of like 20 something people called Essence, you know where you are, stand up and shout out, comment below. That was Blaze. Yes, Blaze was a part of our dance team. He was running his waist back then before he met his lovely wife. Shout out to Nike. It was like, I'm talking about 600, 700 people in attendance, liaisoning with the school to get the event center, to, figure out what food we're going to do. And then, of course, like the creative directory of the production as well.
Okay. No, that's awesome. So you started Sephi in 2016. And so I want us to dive deeper into, should I say, the roots of everything, right? So you mentioned you were planning events for the African Students Council, but prior to all of this, what even sparked your desire in events management? Was there something from your childhood? I know you did mention that you were this creative person. Even when it comes to cooking, you wanted to like bring out the creativity in cooking. So like how did everything even start? What was your upbringing like and all of that?
Okay, so I've been doing shout outs, right? Shout out to Iyaife. Madam Oluwayemisi Adetola Adenaya. That woman took her husband's first and last name. Shout out to her. But I want to say it's from her. And then also, rest in heavenly peace, Grandpa. We love you. Grandpa Solomon Adebayalimi. There's something in that kind of Alimi lineage when it comes to Ovasabi.
It's so funny because I was expecting to say something else, like something deep.
It's not on the Adenaya side. My dad is very calm. It's like on that other side. And Ovasabi in the sense of achiever. We call my grandfather
maybe we should explain what was, Americans are watching. What's Ovasabi?
Ovasabi is one who does too much. So now it's not left to you to determine if that too much is good or bad. So it's just that person. I had this friend. She used to say, "You're so extra. You're so extra." And then, over time, she realized that wasn't the best thing to say. So she started converting it to "you're excellent," right? That's just a little deviation. If you feel like you're doing too much and you feel like you're extra, no, you're excellent. Just make sure that you're intentional about what you're doing so you can bring out the excellence in that power that you have of doing too much, right? Anyways, go back to Grandpa. So we call him the great achiever because he was always determined to bring something out of himself. Like he left Nigeria to pursue a path here in America, and then driving cab, but also like going to school, handling business back home, having multiple property. Like he truly was doing a lot, but he was a man, so it didn't magnify as it would as a woman. So my mom took those genes, and then she started like in school, doing short puts, dancing club, that drama, this, and then how that magnified into business. When I was young, she was selling out of her car. Those darling hair weaves, right? Or like the expressions, right? She'll be selling 3 for 25. Then she was also selling CDs. She'll have one Davido in there, one Yinka Efele in there, and one Ebenezer Obey, 3 for 25 with the rubber bands on them. Like cassettes, Gele, she still sells shoe and bag. buy something from Unique Glory Enterprises. So she was just doing a lot of different things in the creative beauty space. We also always had events. Like we had a party, at least 3 parties a year growing up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
like hosted by your family?
Hosted by my family. So she wasn't an event planner, but we always were doing something, like celebrating something.
I see.
So the celebration factor and the business factor came together to birth Sephiisconcept. So I am someone who has vowed to inspire people in the business space. It's not just in the event space. It's bigger than that. And I love how you keep saying Sephi, because event planning is just Sephiisconcept, but Sephi is a brand. And that Sephi brand transcends to Volume by Sephi, which is our fashion line. It transcends to Favored by Sephi, which is favored buys for sure, but that's our souvenir brand, where you be favored in all that you do once you drop those coins. I'm just kidding. You know, there's so much more that we haven't even opened yet.
Right?
I've opened the Instagram page, but we've not even like opened it up yet to the public, like an exclusive House of Sephi house. That's is gonna be like your, when it comes out, you heard it here first. That's gonna be like your home interiors and a couple of different things. Instagram open, but we're still trusting God for the time for that to be birthed for the world to see. So I have a space in business. My mom, I like to, and I also have this event called yearly event called the BP. So, and I'm deviating here, and I'm gonna round up here in a second. My mom is an entrepreneur, right? And I saw a lot of mistakes she made, right? Buying a whole bunch of stuff, but not trending to say, okay, the blue one is selling more than the purple, right? Not trending to say, this is how much I put in and this is how much I'm getting out. Doing that kind of like business analysis and the gap analysis of all that to kind of make sure that we're doing business, right? And I find out that a lot of our parents in that generation, they were doing business as a hobby to keep busy, So I have the inspiration to help people understand the difference between being an entrepreneur, which is somebody that gives ideas in the business space, to a true businesswoman while we're making money. So that my mom in that sense birthed the Is that correct? Birth? You will take it like that. Sorry, I'm a businesswoman, not an English major, okay? So that birthed the businesswoman in me. And the fact that we're always doing events at our house, and I just happen to do it in college, and people say, hey, this will make money. Remember, business, make money. I already know how to do this. Let's plug it in. So it's not like God said, yeah, you're going to be an event planner. That was just somewhere I was just excellent at already. And I love business.
Wow, so that's awesome. So you did mention that as a family, you all planned events growing up in Nigeria. So just curious, like what events were those?
Yeah, so it was more so like birthdays, anniversaries, a lot of birthdays, and we celebrate our extended family too. So our grandparents, funerals for like great-great-grandparents. I got, a lot of my great-grandparents got to live a long life for me to see them.
Thank God.
What else? Like my mom hosts every year. She does a New Year's party at our house, so people come over for that. I've taken the baton, and I do Easters and mine in Dallas. But she's still trying to hold on to the New Year's, and I'm like, okay, I'll let you have it till you retire. So it was more like stuff like that.
I see, got it. Okay, then I want us to now talk about the evolution of Sephi. And what I mean by that is, starting off, you did mention you were planning more of events for African Students Council. And now, recently, you did a graduation party where Tiwa Savage and a lot of celebrities were there. So I really want us to talk about the evolution, like how did Sephi grow over time? And one of the reasons I really want us to touch on this is a lot of times when people are still trying to start or build something, they see people that are already doing it and they get intimidated and they feel there's no point starting, right? Because just like I see sometimes before Jeff Bezos became Jeff Bezos, he was Jeff Zebos. So how did they make that joke on social media? Right. So it took some time for that to happen. And this also reminds me of something I've actually shared in one of my interviews before, right? I went for a conference, and what I heard was, it was a very, very powerful message. And the person mentioned that it is impossible to steer a stationary car. Right, so like if you want to go somewhere, if you put the address on your phone or your GPS, if you're just seated in your garage, the GPS will not say anything, right? It's not until you start moving, right, that the GPS will say, oh, turn left. After you turn left, you turn right, right? So you actually have to take that first step. So let's just talk about the evolution so that people can be inspired, so that they will be able to hear, wow, so Sephi used to do something so small before, now they're where they are. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, thanks for that question. And funny enough, yesterday, because I was like stressing out, like, and you'd be shocked, I look composed for the most part, because I've been looking ratchet on my story, but for the most part, I look composed on my page. And I was talking to my husband yesterday about how, like, how am I still here and doing events? I know a lot of people that started this thing and quit. Because I'm going to say this in Yoruba, and then do we have the caption?
You just translate.
So, Yoruba people will say, Ofa erueleru sori, ogbetitie sowo.
Okay.
Yoruba people say, you are carrying somebody else's load on your head, and you are using your own to do handbag. And that is event planning. The stress of the bride and groom, you are wearing it on your head. It doesn't mean, I'm not taking away stress from the bride and groom. I'm not taking that away from them, right?
Yeah.
You guys are still stressed, financially you are stressed, but like the bigger bulk, the responsibility would be on my head. I was talking to one of my uncles, and he's like, if this event that we're about to do, you have to do it really well. Some people, they'll say like, sometimes your event, when it comes to food is not enough, or like, sometimes you are late. And I'm like, you don't know the half of what goes on behind the scenes, but guess who still gets blamed for everything? It's your event planner. So when I'm talking to a client and say, we need, a 2 camera persons or 2 videographers, maybe due to budget, they're like, no, we can only afford 1. Now, like when you have 2 camera persons or 2 videographer people, one is with the bride, one is with the groom, you are able to save on time, right? Or you have a client that says, I want to take all my pictures with all my outfit before we go to the church. No, you can't, because there's no time. Or you say, let's use 2-3 makeup artists because you have like 8 bridesmaids, and like, no, everybody only wants to use 1 person. We're saying all of these things, nobody's listening, and then we end up being late, but guess who still gets blamed? Or like, we need to hire more servers, and then food finishes because people are just like taking food. And so the emotional toll of people feeling like you are the one that caused the problem when you've definitely tried to mitigate it. The emotional toll of in the moment when people are like, hey, have you gotten this information? I need this information. Or they even call you at 2 a.m. to cry about the stress because this hall is acting some way, or this person is acting for this money, or even issues. You're even a counselor. They're having issues with their husbands or wife-to-bes, and you're trying to calm them down. Like, we're going to focus on the task ahead, and the devil is a liar. You're a counselor. You're a prayer warrior. You're doing all of these things. And then, in your own life, in your personal life, you have other things going on. You still have deliverables at work. Maybe you and your own partner, you guys have issues to square out. You are forgetting your diet. You're forgetting your skincare routine. And I'm like, how am I still here? And I just thank God for the reminder that I am called to do this, right? Event planning is something that I can do in my sleep. I thank God for the moments where I'm talking to a new client and they're in between event planners and they're like, I like the way you think. I was supposed to give this planner a call back, but I really enjoy our conversation. I didn't think about it that way. Like, I was talking to a potential client and he says, I'm not like your typical person. He didn't want to do t-shirts. His wife was trying to push t-shirts for him for their boat party. And I said, I actually think the t-shirt would be nice. And I said, what about if you do like T-shirts that says, "Oh, most likely to fall asleep in the boat, most likely to get drunk on the first day," and you give it to your friends, right? And he's like, "Oh my God, that's so me." And that was the first time I ever talked to that person. I don't know him before; it was a recommendation from somebody else.
Okay.
And those moments remind me that Sephi, you are born for this, right? So don't let some of these issues that comes out of, like, whether it's the stress during, because you have like 6 different projects you're handling, 6 different brides you're handling, and it's just like everybody feels like you're not taking them as priority, or even the aftermath, maybe the event is running late, but it's not your fault because you want them. Don't allow that to deter you from the greatness that you are. And truthfully, the fruits have been lining up so amazingly. I mean, like you mentioned with the client, I remember when they called me a month before their event. They already hired a planner. Unfortunately, they had to let go of the planner because they weren't aligned, and that happens. It's happened to me. Like, sometimes a planner client relationship, it's a relationship. I want to say I don't have any exes, but I had exes. Sometimes it doesn't work out, right? So I'm not saying that's like toot my own horn over here, right? But that particular client, it didn't work out with who they were with before, and then there was like 10 people they were interviewing at the time.
Oh, wow.
And then I was picked, and within a month, God was able to wow them through me. We literally, the day before was when we secured like a food vendor, because venue was very troublesome, and they had certain like restrictions, requirements as far as like the government was concerned. So God through me pulled different strings. We were able to get it done. That same night, I had a medical emergency. My throat, is it tonsils or uvula? It was swollen. Like I didn't have saliva in my mouth the whole day the event was going on, while trying to hustle. And I remember just like sitting in the car like crying because I thought I was gonna die, So, but like the event still went successful despite all of that. And then I just thank God for the kind of clientele He's bringing my way that trust the brand from the consultation period. I love consultation because I really like to talk my stuff and I like to see them approve it at the end. Yes, there might be things like, time issues or food. Those two, unfortunately, is not dependent on me. I'm not the one that writes the checks. I just give the advice. I'm trying my best to solve some of those crises during the time. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I actually want us to dive in a little bit more before we switch gears. So I also want you to talk about like what has helped you grow, because one of the reasons I wanted us to talk about the evolution of Sephi is like just talking about from where you started, what were the next set of events you were doing, like in terms of scale, how did they grow over time, and what also helped you grow.
Gotcha. So one thing I want to advise anybody on if you're starting a business is start with ideation and think big. I have a 5-year plan that I wrote in 2016.
I love it.
Right? And I did my 1 year and I did my 5-year. And I can say that a good 90% of it I've seen already. That allows me to be accountable to my dream, right? The Bible says write a plan so you can run with it. So year 1, what that looked like for Sephiisconcept was a lot of branding and lies. No, packaging. I remember when someone, because like it's not like I had an event and then I became an event planner. People saw my skills and said I should. So someone called me to ask me if I did makeup. I'm like, me makeup, a whole biochemist. Like, what do you mean? Not shout out to all the makeup artists out there. And then I was telling my friend, shout out to Tayo, I said, somebody called me to come and do makeup. I don't understand. Like, why would they? He's like, shut up. Like, he's like, you don't understand opportunity. He's like, you go there, and as you are doing the makeup, you say, oh, who helped you to do your decoration? Who helped you to do your planning? And you say, oh, we at Sephiisconcept, we also do event planning. We also do decoration. I say, okay, no problem. I got there. and I'm putting on the eyelashes. By the way, you guys don't want to see my clients' makeup back then. I really tried it out. Some I did well, some was just like, yeah. And I said, yeah, we at Sephiisconcept, we're a full event planning company. So we do planning, we do decoration, and we also do styling. In that styling, we have makeup artists. We have somebody that will help you with your clothes. We have somebody that can help you with your hair. At that point in time, Josephine Omotolade and I was all 20 workers I had in my company. And by the way, one thing I tell my girls during the BP plan is, when you decide that you want to go into a business, highlight all the workers, highlight departments first, right? Create an organizational structure. You have marketing, you have social media engagement, you have process, you have supply chain, all of those things, purchasing. Then under that, you even have other minimal, smaller goals, right? Smaller workers. Then put in their skills. Shout out to ChatGPT. It has made this thing easier for you guys to do now. Now, even if you have to carry the weight of all of those assignments for the time being, it is okay. But you are thinking like 10 to 20 different people versus thinking like one person alone, which is the CEO. If you think like the CEO alone and you don't have workers, you're either going to burn out or you're going to quit before it's time for you to reap your fruit. So write it out, write those workers out, and then embody them until you can get somebody to replace those titles, right? So me telling those people that, I was able to create value for my business. And right there on the spot, one lady was listening to me talk, and she asked me that, can I do her birthday that was coming up in the next 2 months? I was like, yes. So I said, let's set up a consultation. Proving yourself. Don't just do things anyhow. If you're into business, photography, videography, set up consultation. By the way, I'm so tired of the rest of you guys in this events industry, because we're not I think we're in it for the money now. Set up the consultation. Let the client know that you care about their vision. It is not your vision. A videographer, it is MC. It's not about you. It's about the client, and it will always be about them. Understand their vision, and then merge them and your skills to give them the event. People are spending so much on events. People are spending over hundreds of thousands of dollars on their wedding, and you mean to tell me it's just going to be another Pinterest wedding? No. Make it about that. Make it a rodeo event for all I care. Make it a Barbie themed wedding for all I care. There are no rules to this. But once you get to know your clients, you really get to make them feel like, yes, that money I spent is worth spending, right? So we had our consultation period. I went to Michael's. I bought a shoe box, and I got like these, index cards, the multicolored one. Cards
like that use, but smaller. Okay.
So multicolored ones. I put it in there. I put different fabrics from Michael's. I couldn't get a swatch book in time for the consultation, so I used the index colors. I said, we can combine magenta green with olive purple and make it, So it was, and she enjoyed that.
Wow. Okay.
And then she was able to trust me with $3,000 of her money. At that time, yes, $3,000 will get you decoration for 200 people. Not now. Times have changed. That was 2016.
Wow.
So that was that for the next 3 years. And then I think, it was maybe the first 2 years, actually. I also had a team, right? I had my technical director, because I knew 5 years from then I wanted Sephiisconcept the experience, which is going to be more of like this show, like this reality show that showcases the past week of planning your events, right? Whether we're following you to that last fitting or to the last tasting or whatever, we're still trusting God for resources for that to happen. But that was the goal. So I had a technical director, I had consultants, I had coordinators, I had all these people in place that really helped my first 4 years as an event planner mean a lot. Then I started to do weddings maybe about the third year, and then fourth year, then COVID kicked in. Thank you actually for asking this question, because there's a pivot, right? COVID kicked in and I had to reinvent celebrations, right?
Like, what do you mean?
So COVID, no parties. So what I ended up doing was to start picnics. So from doing picnics, I was booked in 2020, 2021, while people are losing jobs and things were going down. My God said, no, there is more. So I was booked every weekend during that period from like 2021 to like mid 2022. More bookings than I experienced before COVID. How, right? So I had these packages for, the picnics, allowed people to still enjoy celebrating and all of that. And then that allowed me to transition to more big events post COVID. And then just doing more branding, right? I had like my little Monday Method Monday show on Instagram that kind of shows the method behind the madness. And now people just trust the brand more, you know.
No, I really love what you said. And before we switch gears, so what I've heard is some of the things that really helped you grow were, number one, caring about the customers, your clients, like putting them first. The other thing I heard was also delegation, because you can't handle everything on your own. If you're trying to do everything on your own as a business owner, just like you said, your business will likely end before you even plan to. And the other thing I love is what you just spoke about, which is being innovative, because times and seasons will change, right? But if you are choosing to always be the same, it's not going to work out. That's why if we even think about certain companies that were big before and are not anything anymore, because I still remember in high school when BlackBerry was a thing. Now, where's BlackBerry today? Or even Blockbuster or something. So like the important things, just as Josephine has highlighted, innovation, delegation, and putting your customers first.
And I want to add that, understanding the steps to get to your goal, right? Not just the goal alone. And understanding there are multiple ways to get there, right? I wanted to be an event planner, but they called me as a makeup artist. And from makeup artist, I became a decorator. Then from being a decorator, I became a food coordinator, then from a food coordinator, event coordinator, then eventually a planner. I'm sorry to say, if you want to start off as a planner, people won't trust you automatically yet without proof of doing events. And unfortunately, you might have to start with being a vendor that is truly, truly needed. I'm not saying event planners aren't needed, but having an event planner is a luxury. But maybe you want to start with photography, makeup, entertainment. And then, so understand that there are multiple ways to get to where you want, and don't be so laser focused.
Yes, be open-minded and bounce on opportunities that you feel would at least set you on the right track, even if it's not glaring that this is where I really want to be. Okay, now let's talk about planning and decorating your wedding. First of all, let me touch your neck.
I've recovered. Are you
all right?
I've recovered.
So I even want to know, how did you even arrive at that decision?
Because I've been doing too much.
Let's talk about that.
So, funny enough, for me to be an event planner, I've never been like a hopeless romantic. That's not how I grew up. I wasn't watching all these Telemundos and stuff like that. No. It started off with an idea for business. So, for planning my own wedding, number one, I have a brand, right? I'm an event planner. It almost felt like if I didn't, I would be kind of saying I'm not good enough, right? Then there's the second part. I'm still in the building phase. I'll always be in the building phase, but I think if you're still in the first 10 years, don't think you've made it. You're still in the building phase. So my brand reputation was still, very, key for me. And it's not like I had a lot of clients that were willing to spend, I'm not going to say the amount, but X $100,000s of dollars on an event. I knew I could. And if I gave that job to somebody else that was trusted, and to be honest, Chicago is not that space where there's like a lot of great people in events, right? There are a select few. And if I was to outsource it, my people that I would want to outsource it to, they're way bigger than me. And if they're, posting my events, they're taking that brand equity from that event, because Bella and Naija post it, and then you see Dura events or one big events manager, Funke Bokno, you're not going to see Sephiisconcept in the middle of that noise, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that I wanted to keep my brand equity. I knew I wanted to be able to boast of the great wedding that I knew I could create.
Yeah.
So it was a marketing opportunity. And then also you save money because, you know, like I said, having an event planner is luxury. But if you've never done it before, I would not advise you to do it. I have brides that have and then have come back running. You know, don't do it if you don't have the experience. So it's more about like maintaining my brand and brand marketing and, you know, saving money.
Yes, and I really love that you made that decision, right? Because just like you mentioned earlier on, like you've worked with clients and not every client wants to spend a specific amount of money, right? So you already have the vision, of course, as the event planner, that it'd be good if you, like you said, maybe have 2 or 3 videographers, but they're like, I don't want to spend on this. But you doing your wedding yourself, you not only have the vision, but you also have the luxury to be able to actually execute on the vision, because the money, you're going to be paying the money, right? You can't come back and be like, I don't have money. You want that vision to be executed. So I really love that. So let's talk about the night prior. So for other brides that are trying to get some rest for the big day, you were decorating not just your reception hall, also the hall you used for the ceremony as well. Let's talk about that night. How long were you up for? When did you start decorating? When did you sleep? What was the experience like?
Okay, so it wasn't intentional. I had things already put in place, but, you know, because I am the bride and the event planner and I was still working and I was still doing other people's events. I had brides that year. I was in LA 2 weeks before for an event, managing an event. So doing all of that, I still missed a couple of things. I did the planning with my lead team decorators, and also being the event planner's wedding, a lot of people that worked for me. I remember one of my girls, Olamide, she's like, we have to do Ashwebi for your wedding. So it's like people that you even trust on wants to be a part of the wedding just to enjoy it. So I had to onboard new workers. And I think I forgot to get manual labor people that just come in there to open boxes and stuff like that, right? That I normally like would book. So I forgot to get that. And the people that we already as agreed, right? They were going to come. Unfortunately, kind of fell my hand. So let's start off with Monday. So on Monday, and
just to give people a sense of the timeline, so the wedding was, your traditional wedding was what
Thursday.
day? Thursday.
My traditional wedding was Thursday,
and
rehearsal was Friday, and then white wedding was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on Monday, Isiwa, I love you forever. That's like my right hand. She's one of the girls that work with me. She came to the house with my movers. So we're moving things out of the storage for the 2 events. We had like 2 trucks. We're packing everything up so that everything just goes with us to north suburbs, right? Northwest suburbs.
And that's where the wedding,
that's where both events were going to be. There was 2 different event halls. So Tuesday to the wedding, to Thursday's wedding was when we set up for traditional. That was easy peasy. 2 days before the wedding, that's when we set up. And then Wednesday, I had to take care of some things prior to the wedding, so I wasn't at the hall, but sent other people, and I still delegated. So I took care of the ideation, the design, and that's what I do for most of my clients and centerpieces. However, when it comes to like the woodwork, vinyl floors, the pictures, I have outside vendors, draping, different people would come, they would deliver the design. So I'm more of like an event designer than a decorator, because I'm not a full service decoration company. So
I'm so sorry to cut you. So you said for the traditional wedding on Thursday, you decorated 2 days prior. Was there some form of like negotiation you had to do with the events?
You can't do that for every event.
Exactly.
I have relationship with the venue, and then with Thursday you're a little bit lucky because likelihood of them having an event on a Wednesday is limited. So there was relationship there, so they trusted me not to mess up their space and just come in and come out during the time that they have office hours with people anyway.
I see.
So then Thursday event went fine. I was tired for that one too, but that one was okay. Friday, night's the rehearsal. In the morning of, we're unboxing, me and my bridesmaids. I love you all so much. Literally, because I bought a lot of new stuff. There was a big And the event hall I got, shout out to Stonegate, they gave me this big room that you can even use for 100 people party to just load up my stuff in there. So we're unboxing. At the same time, we're having rehearsal. At the same time, I kid you not. So I had to have a meeting with my parents and my husband's parents to like make sure like we learn from Thursday's mistakes to fix Saturday's stuff. So I'm sitting in the makeup chair because we had rehearsal dinner after. The makeup artist is doing my makeup. I can't remember the makeup artist name right now because my friend hired it, but shout out to you. Like literally I'm like pushing out of the chair. No, Buki, that's not where you're supposed to stand. Big why are you over there? No, you're supposed to walk in this way. She's like pushing me back to do my makeup. And my parents and my parents-in-law are sitting over here. So I'm also having meetings with them. Wow. And they're also having rehearsals on the other side, and I'm still trying to get my makeup done. I'm like, yeah, mommy, so yeah, we're definitely going to do better to make sure that these people are served first than this or that people. No, mommy, we cannot bring in any other new guests. No, daddy, I'm so sorry. Like, oh, no. And like, it was chaotic. Wow. Molly was there. That's IQ's wife. It was just amazing. Then we now went to the rehearsal. And then on the way back, I'm calling the two girls that were supposed to show up when me and my bridesmaids were unboxing. They were supposed to lead that. And I'm like, what's going on? And this is why I wouldn't advise what I did unless you are used to handling chaos, because chaos will happen. They didn't pick up. So I'm heading back at like 11:30 at night. They're not picking up. I'm like, nah. Ojo needs me.
And this was Friday, the day of the rehearsal.
Yeah, the Friday. So the night before the wedding. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be put to shame. So I just called my videographer because I wanted to do a time lapse. So they were supposed to come in at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. was when the decoration was supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I've already explained.
And to give people context, so decoration was to start 6 a.m. on Saturday.
Saturday.
And the wedding was supposed to start at what time on Saturday?
The ceremony was probably like 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's extended time for my person. So they I called the videographer like, I'm sorry, like I'm gonna go start decorating now. It's like 12 a.m. Can you please meet me there? Somebody that was supposed to show up at 6. And shout out to Exclusive Visuals. They got up off their bed and they met me at the...
So you called him at what time?
Like probably like 12 a.m. or 11:30 p.m.
Wow.
It was around that time when I was in the Uber.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they came to the event hall and then they started recording.
Wow.
And then it was me and Amaka, which is another one of my amazing girls. And what I just did was, because I didn't want the morning team to be confused, because I just felt like maybe they weren't ready for what I thought we were ready for. They've done events without me, but maybe not to the scale. I had like 600 guests. There was a lot of tables and a lot of details.
Yeah.
When you're decorating for an event planner, there are a lot of details. The candle has to look like this. This has to look like that. So what I just did between the hours of like 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. was to set up the other side. So I set up half of the side of the tables. So with the floor plan I had already like mapped out for them, they're just replicating. So that was like the micromanaging side of me. I didn't want them to come at 6 and realize that, and be calling me when I'm doing my makeup. Where is this supposed to go? Where is that supposed to go?
So you basically set up like where the decoration should be.
Yeah, where the centerpiece is. I'd done a lot of meetings, prior to making sure that the people doing the drapings know where to put the drapings. I did multiple walkthroughs. So I trusted the team, but because those two people didn't pick up, I got nervous. That what if they don't even have enough time to do this? Because the centerpieces take a lot of time. The stage, 2 hours, they are done. But that's they might still be putting forks, spoons, all those things. So I got out of, my brother had to drag me out of there. So I got out of there like 5 a.m. And I also had to like the magazines, the fans, I had to put things in places where when they come, like you have no excuses. So some people might not do that. So that's why I say, if you can't handle it, don't do it. It's actually crazy. The nights, so makeup, as I do my makeup, I'm falling asleep. Shout out to Becky.
And that was like roughly what time?
So my makeup artist was supposed to show up at 6. I left the venue at 5. So I just got in the shower and then I sat on the seat.
I see.
So Becky Till, Insignia Beauty, they took care of me while I'm dozing off, doing all of that. And then at church service, I'm sorry,
so Josephine, you did not sleep.
No.
Wow.
No.
And you said the reason you decided to at least set or stage things for the people is just because you were nervous, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't want them to miss a detail or feel like, where am I supposed to start? Because during the rehearsal dinner, I was still getting calls like, is this how you want it? And I'm like,
and you didn't you wanted
because there were news
eliminate.
pieces. So I understand the question of, is this how you wanted it? So I get it. But to eliminate that during the morning of, I just felt like, let me just go and do half. Then they would do the other half. I had trees, new pieces that were being set up.
I see. And just a quick question. So when you say do half, like literally set up half of
the
this
table, yeah. So the dance floor is here. I did the right side of the
So when
room.
they need to replicate that, they just look at what
and I
done.
have a floor plan. So I mark each table, like this table is orange. Orange tables is for these centerpieces. I might have 3 different kind of centerpieces. So you see the number, you see that it's orange. So you know you have to put this centerpiece there. And I've placed it over there, so you know where, and then like I said, I had the trees and a couple of, I didn't do anything on the stage. They handled it. And when I got there though, I did, somebody called me, FaceTime me, and I'm like, why is the white flowers on the stage? It's supposed to be the blue one. Change it now. That was like the only thing. The lighting was a little different from what I wanted, but it was still fine.
Yeah.
And I always I have a bride that's doing something like that this weekend. And I say, look, I know you want all of these things, but first and foremost, remember the purpose of the day. Because when you walk in and it doesn't look like what you thought it was, don't let it affect you. I've seen it affect some people. When I walked in, yes, the light was different, but my friends were lit. Everybody was like, oh my God, it felt wow. And I'm like, yes. And that's all that matters. It wasn't 100% what I wanted, but it was my wedding. It was my day.
Wow.
I was falling asleep during ceremony. Dr. K saw me and like was like, Ife, are you okay? Like even gave me some like meds to like, calm my nerves and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And then at the end of the event day, I actually passed out.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm really somber. Even like it was late Saturday. I'm like, I didn't even take pictures with my grandfather. Rest in peace. He had some sickness, right? That, I really wish I took my advantage of that. There were things that I wanted to do that surrounded my family, but I couldn't because I was focused on where's the fish guy? Why is the fish guy not here? Like a whole vendor that was supposed to feed 90 people was MIA, and this is a vendor that we've worked together severally.
Wow.
What do you mean? Now the one line that was supposed to now be shorter is now longer because people have to pivot to go and get, there was just a lot of stuff going on. So during the after party, I'm like, okay, the worst has happened, everything. So I'm like, it's time for the after party. Insignia caught this one video, and like everybody's like, where did this energy come from? So I think I had that high.
Yeah.
Then after that high, like kind of like left, and the party was over, and then also the venue had promised me I could pack up the next day. So I told my movers they can come in the morning. Then that same night, she was like, no, Josephine, all these things have to leave.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what?
Wow.
So we had to move everything from the event hall. Shout out to Honorable Femi, IQ. We have so many people. We all just started moving back into the other room.
And that was what time, though?
That was now like after the party, maybe 12:30 a.m. So I think having to process that this is happening, my friends are helping me when they shouldn't. I don't know. I was just walking, and then Austin caught me. He broke his leg actually, or twisted it. So for 3 good months, he was wearing a brace.
Wow. So
he was the one that caught me. I mean, I heard Femi's voice when I woke up, but like my friend came to me in the car because they forced me out of the venue. Whoa. And she's like, Ife, are you okay? Ife, are you okay? This is August 10. You are at Stonegate's Banquet Hall. You just had your wedding. Wow. And I'm like, oh. Like I don't even know how I arrived.
Hospital, or
no, they just took me to the hotel, but I don't know how I arrived at the hotel. I don't know. I was still in my after party dress when I woke up. Like, yeah, it was a week lot of stress. Looking back at it now, would I do it again? Yes. Yes. Wow. Because I survived. I'm just that kind of a person.
Wow.
Did you die though? Did you die though?
Man, no, Josephine. I love, like, something I love about you is your dedication. You're amazing. Honestly, I know. Yes, like you mentioned, it was chaos. It was stressful for you, but I'm sure people just listening to this, they are inspired. It may not necessarily be events planning, but it may be something else. Maybe they're trying to, I don't know, build a tech firm. Just hearing this would encourage them that, of course, there'll be challenges, but you can push through. Yes, of course, I didn't say kill yourself.
Yeah, don't kill yourself.
Hopefully this is inspiring. And I'll say, like, one of the things you touched on, which of course was a little subtle, was also the importance of relationships in building businesses, right? Because honestly, from you mentioning like the decorations for the traditional wedding, how you were allowed to decorate 2 days prior. I know, like, of course, yes, it was a weekday, right? People can have that argument, but just like you mentioned, it was because of the relationship you had. That's why they allowed it. Because I mean,
even the Saturday venue allowed me to start bringing in things on
earlier,
Thursday into
right?
their other rooms that they knew they weren't using.
Wow.
You know?
And even how you said the videographer, I believe you said, was to come in around 6 a.m.
Oh no, I had a village.
You called him at the last minute and he showed up.
For sure, I had a village. I think I had a team of probably like 50 people working the event.
Wow.
Some were paid, but most were not. Like Honorable came from Nigeria. And I saw him carrying chair. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I guess they forgot to bring the chair to the ceremony where we're going to sit. I'm like, what's going on? Becky, Molly, Cynthia was pregnant. And like, she was my programs manager for the day, holding the clipboard, making sure like programs flow. Like, I had a village for sure.
Wow. So everyone, please, right? If I know 2025 is almost over, but if you want to set a goal for yourself for this year, for the next year and subsequent years, make sure you build and nurture relationships around you, right? Of course, the goal is not to use people, right? But there will be times that you want people to show up for you. And, well, this is inspiring, Ife. So I guess as we round up, some other questions I have for you are, so what has been your biggest win so far with Sephi, owning your business? What has been the biggest win for you?
Yeah, to me, there's not one event that's bigger than the other, whether it's a 500 guest party or a 100 guest party, whether Tiwa Savage was there or it was just in our backyard. There's not one event that's bigger because every event is true and different. And I'm just always grateful for the opportunity to lend my expertise and ideation to a client. So I think my biggest win is just continuous, and it is not giving up. It's still staying the course because sometimes I don't know how I'm still hanging in there. So I would say, being able to, and then just being able to also raise my prices and people paying the price. Like I would say I'm like definitely times 10 of what I made when like 2 years after I started as mainly like coordination and stuff, times 10.
Oh wow.
And that is what, 8 years from now? So I guess maybe that levels up.
Wow. No, that's awesome. And what would you say has helped you grow and become a better entrepreneur? Are there specific self-development things you do? You know how we hear that everything rises and falls on the leader. So if Sephi is growing, that's because of who you are. So what are things that have helped you?
One thing is like reminding myself that I've not arrived all the time. I constantly remind myself of that. So sometimes I would go into some of the tools that I use. I have like branded tools, that project management tools that I use for my clients. I treat them all like projects. And I would go in there and I'll say, how can I optimize this? And like I said, shout out to ChatGPT. You can utilize that, and you can also, book a consultation over here as well. And, I'm always optimizing my processes to make sure that they're relevant in the space, in the year, for the client. Everything is tweaked every time to make sure that it is relevant for the intention, right? I just got done watching a video for work called Commander's Intent. It's a TED Talk, and it's always like understanding, where you want to be so that you can align your process with that, and then, making sure that, you're stating that to yourself and to your audience consistently. Reminding myself of the God factor, that I was chosen for this. I remember one of those COVID years, and I was very stressed. I had like events back to back, and then somebody was a church member that asked me to come and do something for him for his birthday. His decorated canceled, and I'm like, it's not even about the money. I don't have the time. I did a wedding. I emceed a wedding. Then I went to go and decorate for a corporate event. It was like 2 a.m. I had to blow up balloons for that Sunday event, and I still had to make it to church because I'm a church girly. So I end up like literally just feeling this sharp pain in my chest that night, and then I just was like, I had to put the balloon down, and I laid down. And next day when I went to church, my boyfriend then, now husband, he was like, do you have to go to church? I'm like, what do you mean I have to go to church? I'm going to go and make money this evening doing events, and you're telling me I'm not going to go to church on a Sunday? It doesn't make sense. So I ended up getting to church with 2 mixed shoes. Like one was navy blue, one was black. It was the same brand, but 2 different colors. And then somebody said, is everything all right? I remember breaking down on the floor crying that I said, God, if you called me for this, give me discernment. Give me discernment how to pick and choose and navigate my processes and all of that. And then that same day, Nikki had a conversation with me, and we're talking about like, oh, how I charge and break down my fees. And I was like, oh, this thing is just that it's too expensive for me to hire workers. People will not pay. She was like, you put delivery fee, you put what do you call it fee? What do I call it fee now? Service fee. I'm like, who is going to pay? Ever since that day, I did it, and I've been doing it now to the point where delivery fee can mount up to 2K. Service fee can mount up to 3K. And people are paying it.
Oh, wow.
So reminding myself that God called me for it, because every time I ask for help, he helps me. He sends me people that tells me what to do. And if you are that person out there and you are kind of questioning if God has called you for this, but you know that this is like a natural thing, like you can do this thing in your sleep, whatever that thing is, God has truly called it for you. You just need to optimize. You just need to optimize. So find that person that you can talk to, that can advise you, somebody that is either good in that thing already, or somebody that is just good in something similar but not the same. But you get what I mean. But God has called you for it, because you can do this.
Wow, I love that. And I'll say lastly, you touched on this earlier on, but I love something about you. You seem to be someone that is also very introspective, because even during your wedding, you were saying you were looking back prior to the white wedding, you were looking back at what went well for the traditional wedding so you could implement the learnings. I love that. And finally, as we round up, what would be your advice for anyone that is interested in starting their business?
Yeah. So first advice is to pray about it. Be sure. Right. When I told my dad I wasn't going to be a doctor anymore, an event planner, I wasn't sure if I was sure, but I sounded sure. I was like, Daddy, I'm not going to be a doctor anymore. So be sure about it. And the only way you can really be sure about it is if you've talked to God about it. So that's the first step. Second, write it plain. And then, write down that 5-year plan, that 3-year plan. Who fits into this picture, or what fits into this picture? Then how do I get there? Am I using other people's money? How do I get investments? What do I need? What is necessary for me to bring into my business, or to buy, or to have as inventory, right? It's not everything that is profitable. Not just because everybody is doing videography don't mean you should go into it. If you want to be in the event place, fine. Find your place there's room. There's so many different parts. So find that, and then also utilize things like ChatGPT. Also go to training classes, master classes for people that are doing what you already do. I learn from other people's mistakes, because I don't have time to be falling. Nobody has time for that. I have a goal to reach. So learn from other people's mistakes. Those are like some of the few things that I can just think of off the top of my head.
Wow, Ife, this was amazing. I want to say thank you so much for your words of wisdom, for sharing your experience with us. And as we finally close out today, we promised you all promotion. So maybe if you can run through some of the things you have in store for the viewers.
Yes, for my amazing people out there that want to celebrate life, because life is to be celebrated, we're offering $500 off for the first 3 people that reach out to us for our event planning services. And one person would get also $500 off for decor. So 3 people for event planning, 1 person for decor. So that's a total of 4 people. And then also another person would get a free hour of consultation with Sephi. Whether you're trying to start a business, whatever the case might be, you sit with me for 1 hour. I allow God pour into me, and through that pour into you, and let's see what we can do to get you on your feet.
Awesome. And for people that choose to enjoy this promotion, make sure you use the code showing on the screen right now, so that we confirm that you were actually a viewer of this video. So finally, as we round up, Josephine, just want to say thank you so much for your time today. This was amazing. I learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers learned a lot of amazing things. To our viewers, thank you so much for sticking around from the start of this video to the end. Please drop in the comments what stood out to you in this video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment. Just like I said, make sure you also subscribe and share this video. And lastly, I just want to read from Colossians 3, from verses 23 and 24, that says, "And whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ." So remember that whatever you do, is your ministry. So
Yeah.
your opportunity to do something great so that people can be brought into the kingdom of God. So I just want to pray for everyone here that you are blessed. And I pray that God will grant you the wisdom to execute on the God-given mission, the dreams, the gifts He's given unto you in the mighty name of Jesus. Have an amazing day, everyone, and we love you all. Bye.
Wow.